Hi, I'm Bart Hanson, the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
Yeah, so I was playing 2-5,
Okay.
and it's $1,000 max buy-in game.
Okay.
It's not really no limit; it's spread limit. So the max bet is 635
The max bet is 635 per street, basically?
per street.
Okay.
So you can raise 635 on top of someone's bet, but that's the max you can
Okay.
raise.
Yep.
Um, so I'm in the big blind with three of hearts and three of spades.
Okay.
Under the gun opens to 20. That's pretty standard for this game, like four times the big blind.
Okay.
Um, Under the one, UTG plus one calls, middle position calls, small blind calls, and I'm closing the action and call to 15.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways, right? So probably like $100 on the pot.
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
Um, the flop comes out three of clubs, seven of spades, 10 of clubs.
Okay, so how deep are you with the under the gun? Like, what are your effective
Um,
stacks?
so under the gun is about 900 deep. I have 1450, and the main villain, who's in the small blind, has me covered.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so it's about $100 in the pot. Small blind checks. I check, and the pre-flop raiser bets 60.
Okay.
It folds around to the small blind, who makes the call, and I call as well. I thought about raising here, but I didn't want to inflate the pot until a safe turn card came out.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, though. I mean, obviously you can call here. I think once the small blind calls, um, it probably gives you a little bit more incentive to play the hand straightforward. I mean, it's probably pretty close. The under the gun guy betting on this board in a 4 or 5 people really should have something. I don't even
Yeah,
know
I've
if he's going to be c betting anything that's not at least a 10 plus here. So I would
that's what I figured, and possibly ace king with the
right.
ace of clubs.
Well, yeah, I mean probably like like some sort of flush draw or something like that. But I mean usually in these types of situations, um, I would probably fast play it right away. I mean there are so many nut changing turn cards. I think if the board doesn't pair, everything changes on the turn for the most part, except the high
Okay.
blank. Except the high blank, and you actually can sometimes develop a leading range on the flop here. Maybe not necessarily on this board, but like when you flop a set on a ragged board in a multi-way pot of like more 4 than 5 people, when the pre-flop raiser is not going to bet air and doesn't want to commit a lot of money to the pot, but you can get calls by betting, that's when I like a leading range. So I think this
Okay.
one's probably pretty close. You probably could have led at it, especially at 2-5 when you're not necessarily overly concerned about how to balance a leading range with bluffs and with big hands and, thinking about balancing things like that. But I would probably just check raise right away here, probably to like maybe 240. But okay, you call. I'm not a huge fan of
Okay, so
the.
you would maybe just flat calling.
No, I would check raise. I'm not a
Oh
huge.
yeah, no, you're not a fan of the flatting.
Right.
And you would make it like 4x.
Yeah, maybe 200 to 250. I just
Okay.
I could see a case for flatting, but I don't agree with you that case is I want to wait for a safeguard. I mean, you're only
Okay.
$900 deep at 2-5, and there's no indication that
Yeah.
what is a
What I
safeguard.
didn't add was that the under the gun has been very active, and he puts out a C bet on pretty much every flop.
Hmm.
Um, and then the small blind is an aggressive somewhat tight player. So
Okay.
I figure he probably has top pair on this board
So
when I was making the call.
you call and we go to the turn, right? So the pot's
Okay,
probably
yeah. So
280, right?
yeah,
Okay.
the turn is the king of diamonds,
Okay.
and the small blind now leads out for 180. So when he does that, I thought for a second, and I figured here is I wanted to find out more where I was at, and I raised to 450.
Um,
So I almost min raised.
it's funny that I say, but if you can follow my logic, I'll try to guide you through what I'm thinking about. Like I said, I probably wouldn't find myself in this situation all that much because I probably wouldn't be over flatting the flop, but there are some
Hmm.
merits to it. Now, with that being said, I think that when the small blind leads here, it's so sort of bizarre a bet out here. I mean, I guess he could have king 10. Um, I would probably do a lot of flatting here on the turn because
Okay.
if you raise, the guy behind you is always going to have to fold everything out. You know what I mean? Like absolutely everything out. And it's not like this guy's setting a price with a draw. I mean, he's betting 180 into 280, which is sort of a normal size bet. So, um, it's such a weird lead. I mean, at the same time, someone could make a case where the small blind just like you said he was tight and taggy, right? The small blind.
Yeah, I was thinking that he might have ace king here and just loaded the flop and hit a king with top kicker
Yeah,
on the
I don't think
turn.
so. I
King
mean,
10 also crossed my mind as
I mean
well.
how look at how this. I mean, Ace King is not consistent with this entire line of him just calling pre-flop. I mean, maybe sometimes a lot of people will squeeze him calling on the flop, and then when he hits it on the turn, he leads. I just
Yeah.
think I think with the stack sizes, you probably can't go that wrong by raising, but I might tend to
Hmm.
flat more here to maybe to get the guy behind me to definitely come in as well. But I don't hate the raise, so you make it 450.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UTG one ends up folding,
Uh huh.
and the small blind tank calls.
Calls.
So right
Okay.
away, didn't. I ruled out most all other sets that were out there.
Yeah, but I mean, what? I mean, even if he
I
moved
feel like
all,
he would have
but
called
dude, even if he
this
moves
guy's.
all in on the turn, let's say you raise to 450 and he moves all in, you're not gonna fold, right? On the turn.
Um,
You put in half. You've put in
no,
$550 of 900. Come on, you know. So it doesn't really matter.
no,
Yeah.
I'm 1450 effective.
Oh, 14.
UTG was
Oh, my
900.
bad.
I'm
Okay.
1450, and
Okay, my
he
bad. My bad.
had
I
me
thought you were only
covered.
nine. For some reason, I thought you were only 900. Okay. So I see there can be
No,
a little bit considerations if you knew the guy. But anyway, so he calls and the pot's about 980, right?
yeah,
Okay.
just under 1,000.
Yep.
And the river is a 10, and he leads 420 into me.
The river is a 10, like an offsuit 10.
Yeah, offsuit 10 doesn't complete the flush.
So I
Um,
just want to make sure that we have the suits correct because I think it's very important here when you're
I'm
looking at
looking
this.
back in my notes.
So it's 10
Okay.
of clubs, 7 of spades, 3 of clubs, and the turn's the king of diamonds. And the reason why that's important is because he can't really have 10x with a flush draw here. Like there was no backdoor
Yeah.
diamond draw that appeared. Clubs are on the flop. So
Hmm.
it's like at this point, I think you have just a call because there really is no hand that he can have that's just a 10 here. So this is going to be like some sort of massively missed draw, or he has king 10, or he had like pocket sevens. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a missed draw, or he has you beat. You follow me?
Yeah.
Because
So
he can't
my
really have
question.
10x.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't put him on 10x. My question was, you just called it. I wasn't even considering raising. I
Right.
was considering calling and folding.
Calling and
And I
folding
just
the
felt like
folding for 420. I mean, he bet half
bottom
the
full
size of the
house.
pot, right? No, I wouldn't fold.
So
Yeah,
you
I
would
just
just
can't.
flat call.
But I would definitely call. I think that that's the important part of this hand is that once with this distribution of the suits and everything that came out, once he leads the river here, this is going to be a missed draw or king 10 or 7. He just cannot have a single pair 10 here, I don't feel like, the way that this has gone down. So this is a pretty good example of probably just calling. Even if you had pocket 7s here, to be perfectly honest with you, I think it's still just a call. It doesn't really change
Yeah,
much, you know?
I mean, I was just thinking about a fold. I mean, because I do have bottom full house and I didn't see any hand that he would have that I have beat with him leading into me on the river.
Yeah, but I mean, but he could still have some draws, or he could be doing something. Who knows? He could be doing something spazzy where he thinks he's blocking, the river or something like that, like with like king queen of clubs. Who knows? Like I said, like you don't know to get when you're getting 3-1 here with a full house the way that this hand goes down. No, I would not fold. So you called, I assume, right?
Yeah, and he had king 10
Mm-hmm.
off. I just was questioning it afterwards because of the result, and I wasn't sure if you ever could find a fold on the river.
No, I don't think so. I mean, and to be
Okay.
to be honest with you, I put up our latest video that went up, I think, on maybe not today, but the last one. I actually told the guy, if you watch on YouTube, I told the guy like, well, when this comes up on YouTube for the live people that are watching this, I told the guy like to fold like I think it was like the bottom part of a straight getting like 4 or 5 to 1, and now I look back at that and the pot odds are probably just too great. No, you're not gonna fold everything. You can't be scared of like monsters under the bed, and there's just a wackiness that goes on at this level. But anyways, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA100. Click on the link right there.